This is also clinically proven. This has clinical data that is going to thicken and densen your hair, okay, by 40% or even more. Hey baddies, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Bevy. In this video, we are going to talk about how to reactivate your hair follicles, okay? So before we even go into how to reactivate those hair follicles, exactly why is it important to reactivate your hair follicle? Well, you may have hair follicles on your scalp that is sleeping or sleepy or laying dormant, okay? Meaning that they haven't been growing any hair for quite some time. I don't know what the time span is or the time frame, but there is data and there are studies that indicate that if you reactivate the stem cells underneath your follicles, then you can actually get hair growth in areas where you may have not been growing hair for a long time. You may also proliferate your cells and your follicles, meaning that you can get thicker and denser hair from doing these steps that I'm going to talk about in this video, okay? Hey baddies, it's your girl Bevy with Hairscripts, and I have some great news. If you are experiencing hair loss, meaning it's shedding, it's thinning, you have bald spots, it's breaking, you don't know what the problem is and you don't know how to treat it and how to fix it, do me a favor and go to the Hairscripts.com. Go to our website, the link is down below, and use our scalp evaluation tool where you can upload up to 6 photos of your scalp and your problem area. And one of our Hairscripts hair loss experts will get back to you, not only with the full evaluation, but a treatment plan on how you can personally regrow your hair back based on your hair growth concerns. But that's not all. You'll also get product recommendations that are going to be better for you and not for your neighbor. Okay, so personalized hair care, girl, that's where it's at. And if that's not good and that's not reason enough for you to go, it's free, okay? Don't say I didn't tell you. Bye. So first, I'm just gonna explain the process, how it works, the step-by-step process, and then you're gonna see me actually doing it. And this is a 90-day challenge, okay? We had Dr. Elva Wright. She's a doctor of pharmacy and a trichologist that was on the Supernaturals podcast. Shameless plug, check out our podcast. The episode is in our playlist somewhere. It's called the Supernaturals podcast, Dr. Elva Wright, where she went step by step, and I'm gonna break that down for you here on what you can do to reactivate the stem cells underneath your hair follicles so that you can get hair growth in areas where you thought you wouldn't be able to get growth anymore, or thicken your thinning hair. Thicken your hair, grow hair. I mean, basically, there's nothing wrong with bringing back those follicles from the dead, okay? And so I'm gonna show you what I've been doing. This is a 90-day challenge, meaning that we're gonna have some checkpoints, okay? So this is just the introduction of what we're doing. Please, please, please be happy to join me, okay? You are free to join me. We're gonna do this together, and then we're gonna have checkpoints once a month to track the difference, okay? I want you guys to hold me accountable. On the 90 days, after the 90 days, then we're gonna have a full-on video about, okay, this is the results that we got from this process. So anyway, I'm doing enough talking, let's jump right in. Step 1 for this 90-day, and it's a multiple step process, but we're gonna focus on a few steps. Step 1 is buying a Derma roller, okay? So I know you've heard of a Derma roller. So a Derma roller, and I'm gonna put this here, this is the one that I got from Amazon, it's called Koi Beauty. It's a Derma roller. Now, before we even go into the Derma roller, you have to make sure that it's either between 0.5 or 1 millimeter, okay? And that's the size of the needles, because the deeper the needles, obviously the deeper the penetration on your scalp. And so for it to be effective, you need to find a Derma roller that's between 0.5 through 1.0 millimeters long, okay? I'll tell you what the box says the benefits are. If you use a 0.5 millimeter, it's suited for cell regeneration, anti-aging, hair regrowth, hyperpigmentation, because obviously this is something that people predominantly use on their skin, but we're talking about using it on our scalp. If you use a 0.75 millimeter, it's suited for a variety of skin problems, good for deeper wrinkles, light scars. scars, okay? Obviously this is for medical use, face and body treatments. If you use a 1 millimeter, it's suited for a variety of skin problems, good for deeper wrinkles, light scars. It's for medical use. Now, of course, me, she's a little extra. I'm okay with that. I went ahead and got the 2 millimeter. I was like, listen, she's trying to get deep in there, okay? I'm trying to go deep, honey. We want these follicles, we want that penetration to be deep, okay? Take your mind out the gutter. So the 2 millimeter is suited for burn, contracture, diminishing, deep scars, stretch marks, and cellulite, okay? This is physician use, okay, for body treatments. Now, obviously, we're using it on our scalp. Let's see what it says. Titanium Pro Edition. It reduces scars, anti-aging, anti-wrinkle, stimulates collagen, helps new skin to grow, hyperpigmentation, hair restoration, stimulates blood flow. So what's important to us is it stimulates collagen. Collagen is that protein, I call it the scaffolding that comes together to kind of hold up the elasticity, right? That's of your face, right? But if you're talking about hair, collagen is very, very good to kind of keep the bonds and the protein structure of your hair intact, which is really important for strong, thick hair, okay? The other thing that's important for us is stimulates blood flow. If you haven't watched anything on this channel, I'm gonna stop you right now. I'm gonna tell you the second step to this process is to subscribe to the freaking channel. You need to subscribe to the channel so you can get all the tea. Because here we get straight to the point, we cut out all the fluff, and we go into the science, we give you all of that, all of that. I give you receipts on this channel, okay? We don't do it, well, I think it works because everyone else on YouTube is doing it. We know it works because there's clinical data that supports and backs it, okay? Anyway, stimulating blood flow is very important. That's why we talk about scalp massages, because blood flow is important to get to the hair follicle because it delivers nutrients and oxygen to the hair follicle. If the hair follicle is void of nutrient and oxygen, obviously it's not being fed, it's not eating, it's going to die, it's going to be weak, it's going to suffer. So scalp massages is taking those nutrients that you're consuming, whether by food, supplements, whatever, that's going predominantly to your organs and the most important parts of your body, right? It's gonna deliver it to the hair follicle because the way the circulatory system works, it just feels like, listen, everything else is more important. Hair is whatever. It's like, it don't matter, right? But we're saying, oh, hell yeah, it does matter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna penetrate the scalp so that the blood can get to the extremities, right? And so this right here also stimulates blood flow, and oxygen being delivered to your follicle is also very important because think about anything that needs oxygen is because you need it to breathe. You need your hair follicle to breathe. You want to treat your hair follicle like a plant. It needs oxygen. It needs water to grow. It needs all of that stuff, right? It's the same thing with your hair follicle. Oxygenation process also is good for keeping your pH balanced, right? For keeping your scalp homeostasis on your scalp so that it's pH balanced. You don't have an overproduction of yeast and overproduction of bacteria. That's why stimulating blood flow on the scalp is key. It's king, okay? And of course, hair restoration. Why? Because we're activating the stem cells underneath the hair follicles and we are reviving, we are restoring, we are resurrecting, okay? Those follicles. So now enough about this. I got the 2 millimeter, but Dr. Wright says 0.5 to 1 millimeter is just right. And if you're a virgin, honey, if your scalp is, I would stick between the 0.5 and what's that thingamajig? I'm sorry, 0.5 and 1 millimeter. After you create the wounds on your scalp, yes, it's needles, it's titanium needles, and it's not gonna show clearly here, but it's titanium needles, okay? Mine is a little, God forgive me, it's a little dirty because obviously I'm using it. I've used it, and that's what you're gonna see. I mean, obviously to clean it, you wanna sterilize it, so put it in alcohol, all of that. And so those needles are creating wounds on your scalp. So the quick science, the basic science of that is inflammation is actually, believe it or not, while inflammation is not a good thing, we don't love inflammation. Inflammation is that inflammatory response is your immune system saying that there is something that's wounded and it needs healing. So when you see inflammation is when blood rushes to a certain area. So if you have inflammation on your arm, anywhere on your body, blood and a whole bunch of other cells that are rushing to that area to protect it, right? To fix it, to heal it. What's going on? So when you have inflammation, it's because there's something going on in your body and your immune system is trying to repair it. It's trying to bring it back to homeostasis. So you're wondering, why the hell would you create wounds on your scalps for inflammation? Isn't inflammation bad? Well, we are creating those wound channels, right? Because we want the blood to rush to the area. We want those cells to rush to the area. We want it to start the process of healing so that it can boost the collagen production even more. It can regenerate the cells that we need on our scalp that's gonna repair the hair follicle, that's gonna repair, basically it's repairing the follicles. So if you're strengthening that, if you're repairing the follicle, you're strengthening that follicle, right? And it's not really wounded, but it's creating that wound channel, that sensation. It's creating that thing where your immune system is going to flood there and give it a double or even triple dose of what it needs for it to work. That's the simple way. This is the magic school bus way, okay? Anyway, so that's why you want to create those wound channels. Also, now you have those wound channels so things can penetrate, right? Things can get in. And so why that's important is because now you're going to use a serum. Now, there's so many different things that you can use. I have 2 here. I'm going to give you guys a few options. You pick what works best for you. Now, you have the option of using Rogaine, 5%, right? That's the concentration. That's the key pivotal concentration that you want to use. Rogaine, you can get over the counter. Apparently, there's the Kirkland brand, the Costco brand. I don't know if BJ got a brand. It don't matter. It doesn't have to be the name Rogaine, but it's minoxidil 5%, okay? That is clinically proven and it's FDA approved for hair growth, okay? So now there's a whole mechanism of action with that. I'm not gonna go into the details about how it works right now, but it is definitely very effective in restoring your hair and thickening your hair, especially when you're seeing thinning. You can use that. It will be extremely effective and it's gonna penetrate deeper into the scalp because you created those wound channels, right? Now, if you're a person, also, there's another option. There's something called peptides, okay? These are growth, basically they activate your growth hormones, okay? This peptide is called PTD-DBM, okay? PTD-DBM, okay? Say that really fast. It's methylvanillate, okay? Now, this peptide, AKA growth hormone, or it activates the growth hormone, this little bottle right here was $70. Yes, it's expensive, but what I will tell you is this is also clinically proven. This has clinical data that is going to thicken and densen your hair, okay, by 40% or even more, okay? Women in the study, it was a clinical study done with predominantly women, and the women they've seen an increase, okay, in their hair follicles. So this is, I'm telling you, this is tea right here. Now the bottle says to use daily, and it doesn't have a really bad smell, so you can put this in your hair and mask it up with your styling and all of that. This says to use daily, but this is gonna definitely penetrate after we create the wounds with the Derma roller. And then if you're if you're an all natural girl and you're just like, I'm not doing no type of chemicals, I don't like active ingredients, no worries, girl, I got something for you too. This right here is my own, and it looks like trash, but this is my own personal hair growth serum that I create, okay? Now, again, you need to subscribe to the channel. Go watch that video where I show you how to create the best hair growth serum, because I use all oils that are clinically proven, that has clinical data that shows that it works just as effective as minoxidil, okay? There's rosemary in here, there's lavender, there's tea tree, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff, but you need to watch that video. I'm not gonna do that. But this is my hair growth serum. My carrier oil is safflower oil because it's non-comedogenic, meaning it doesn't clog your pores, it doesn't cause acne, it doesn't irritate the scalp, and it's very light, so it absorbs super quickly. It's not a thick oil. So this is my serum. Go check out that video if you want to create it on your own. But if you're like, listen, you know, I have my favorite, my go-to holy grail oil. I've always used this. I love it. You can use that too. The goal is use a hair growth oil or topical solution that is going to support the wound channels that you create, that's going to penetrate this penetrate the follicle, the scalp, because now that you've delivered the blood and the oxygen, basically it can eat, okay? Now it can get the nutrients that it needs and deliver it to where it needs to go. So that is the second step. Now, finally, I don't have it here, but finally the last step, and it's not, again, there's multi, as she says, there's multifactorial, right? So there's multi-therapies, there's multi-steps, but we wanna be very specific to the scalp today. There's other things, I'm just gonna throw them in there, honorable mentions like your diet, right? You have to make sure that for all of this stuff, for anything that you do to work, you need to make sure that you're eating a high protein, high fat diet, lower carb. You wanna make sure you're getting in nutrient dense foods, nutrient rich foods. Make sure that you're just not eating, you know, I can't even think of the word right now, but fast foods and chemical, I don't even know what it's called right now off the top of my head, but those type of foods that are just completely empty. They're just filled with calories and empty in nutrients. You don't want to eat that, right? And they're causing inflammation, not just on your scalp, topically on your scalp, which is what we're doing, which is fine. It's causing inflammation internally and systemically through your body. Now that is no good, no bueno, okay? So you want to make sure your diet is up to par, okay? Another honorable mention is you want to make sure you're taking vitamins. I personally take prenatals. I go through this in all my other videos. Watch those videos, but I take prenatal vitamins. Another thing that I do is I take hair supplements, okay? The ones that I prefer are Nutrafol, and I go into that in depth in another video as to why I prefer Nutrafol. So those are honorable mentions. These are lifestyle changes. So it's not just part of this challenge, but it's lifestyle changes that you have to make. Make sure you're getting the nutrients that you need, the supplements that you need, and the actual botanicals that you need that are going to really promote hair growth and regenerate hair follicles, right? Density and thickness and all of that, okay? So those are honorable mentions. But the third step to this particular challenge is clarifying your scalp. Shampoo is proper grooming. Shampoo, conditioning, right? Mostly shampoo. Clarifying the scalp, making sure that you're washing your hair every week, okay? I know. Some of us love to co-wash. I'm not coming for you today. We're not gonna do, this is not that video, but we're not gonna co-wash for this challenge. We're gonna make sure that we're clarifying our scalp. There are a ton of options out there, and you wanna make sure, let me highlight this, you wanna make sure that you're not just using a shampoo because it was $5 at Target or Walmart, right? There are specific shampoos that you want to use, and medicated shampoos, right? There's shampoos that have active ingredients that are good for treating pretty much sebderm of the scalp, which is yeast infection on your scalp, dry scalp, dandruff. It has a little active ingredient or a benefit as far as exfoliating the scalp. My favorite shampoo and conditioner right now to date is a brand that is created by the board certified dermatologist Sherry Graham. It's called Live So, and the shampoo and conditioner is so dope because it mixes the therapeutic benefits of having a shampoo that actually clarifies and exfoliates your scalp using glycolic acid, but then it's also really good for the texture of your hair. And a 2-for-1 is always a good deal for me, honey, because there's a lot of shampoos out there that has the active ingredients, and it makes sure that your scalp is good and it keeps the pH balance and it keeps the bacteria at bay, but then it messes with your hair, right? It F's up your whole, your actual curl pattern, or your curls are not really nourished. But these products, Live So, and this is not sponsored, I just really love it. These products, Live So, they take care of your scalp and your hair at the same damn time, Anyway, so the way I do it is, I do the wounds, I put I put this in, I do it like the night before or the day before wash day, right? You don't have to keep it in your head for like a whole week. You don't gotta walk around smelling like a Thanksgiving turkey, okay? Me, I just basically, the night before wash day, which for me is a Friday night, I do the wound, I use the Derma roller. I use one one or the other, and me, I'm a little extra. I use both. By the way, just in case you guys are wondering, this is also safe. The clinical data in the clinical study shows that it had very, very little, if not, and no side effects, okay? I just wanna make sure you guys know if you're a little iffy about using certain actives or certain products. Anyway, but again, use your favorite hair growth oil or follow my recipe for the serum. The serum is effective, okay? So then I do the wounds. Oop, I almost poked myself. I almost juked myself with this thing, okay? You do this first. You apply this, massage it into the scalp, do a nice little 10-minute massage. After it's on there, massage your scalp for 10 minutes. Find the pressure points. I have a video on massages that shows you exactly how to do it. Go check that video out. And then after you do that, the next day, you go and wash your hair. Clarify your scalp, wash it, clean it, whatever, okay? This is what you're gonna do every week for 90 days, okay? We're gonna do this together every week for 90 days, and we're gonna talk about the results. Now, quick little thing, for you to enhance the results, if you want to enhance it, take it up a notch, right? You can first wash your hair first. Do it the reverse. Wash your hair first, because now your scalp is clean, so it can actually receive the benefits a lot better. And then you add the oils. Now, the reason why I don't do it that way is because realistically speaking, I have to go out into the world, I work, I do things, and I don't want to be walking around like a greasy, oily Thanksgiving turkey. Like, I don't want to be smelling like a Thanksgiving bird. And out here, people, you know, they giving me a double take, and it's not because I'm cute, but they're giving me a double take because I'm smelling like a whole bunch of essential oils. So because of my lifestyle, and I'm always out in the public, and I'm communicating with people, and that's it can be a very pungent smell. I don't want to offend anyone, including myself. I don't want to mess up my sheets and my pillows and my pillowcases. I don't do it that way. Okay, but you know, everyone's lifestyle is different. If you're in a position where you could actually wash your hair first, then do the derma roller and do this, you can do that for deeper penetration, added benefits, added bonus, and then you rinse and repeat the steps every week. But for me, I like to do this overnight. Let this soak in, let it absorb overnight. It doesn't need to absorb for 3 days. It will soak in overnight, and then in the morning I wash it and I style as regular, okay? That was really long. Next thing you're gonna see is me actually doing it on a Friday night, having some wine with my friend, talking, just laughing it up. You're just gonna see a little snippet of that, and then we're gonna really go into the challenge and just talk about how it's working, blah, 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 bing, bada, 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 boom, okay? But the last thing I wanna tell you is, while this is not my first time doing it, I could tell you that after the first week, let me tell you, no, I think I've already said this. So anyway, let's go into me using it. Let's move into the next part of the video. Stay tuned, because I'm telling you guys, you don't want to miss this. You're not getting this tea anywhere else on these internet YouTube streets, okay? I'm telling you, you need to be you need to join the Hairscripts channel. I'm the plug, and I'm putting you on to things that nobody else is putting you on to. Thank me later. Gotcha. All right, we'll be back.